What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Vertical Football. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Things We Learned. Manchester United to Crystal Palace 1. So, guys, a lot of talking points in today's game. A lot of things that we saw that we need to analyze. So, quickly, let's jump right into it. And first and foremost, a very good win for Man United. I felt that the performance overall in today's game was better than the last game against Everton. I felt that the game against Everton, we had a lot of issues in that game. But today, I think a lot of positives, a lot of good things that I saw. And I said, it's nice. Yeah, so guys, let's jump right into it. The 5 things we learned against Crystal Palace game. I think the first half, at least maybe the first 20 minutes of the game, we didn't start well. That was quite clear in terms of, I think it was just a laid back approach that we had in the first 20 minutes. So we allowed Crystal Palace to try and impose themselves in early on in the game, and I think around the 6th minute or so, they had already scored a goal, which I feel that we have to guide against it next time. This is Old Trafford. Things are coming to play us at Old Trafford. We should be the one to try and impose, starting from the onset, right? But I think the mistake was made, lessons were learned, and I think after the first 20 minutes of that game, we began to grow into the game. We began to dominate. We began to have more of the ball. We began to, put a lot of structure to our play, and I felt that the momentum was with us. Even after the first half, I said it, that the momentum was with us. What we just needed to do was the fact that we just needed to, bring more variety to our attack. I think that's what we just needed, to bring more variety to the attack, which I think we did in the second half. We did in the second half, and that was nice. I felt the first half, there were a lot of long balls, to try and catch Crystal Palace behind their defensive line, which didn't really play out. I think it was very easy to read with the like of Lacroix, the defender. Was really easy for him to read that situation. And most times he was not in the ball. Most times they squeezed our attack in such a way where the ball would just go to the other side and was wasted. But I feel that the second half, we built on that momentum, and that was my prayer, that when we come back in the second half, we should not just let it be like that. We should continue to impose ourselves, because opportunities were there for us in the first half. You can see Casemiro had some certain headers and I think when you just even look at the game, you just found that the fact that, and this has been true for Crystal Palace a lot of time this season, the fact that I've always seen that they have been vulnerable in terms of area balls. I've always noticed that about them. The games I've watched them, I've always felt they have this tendency to be vulnerable. I think even the first leg against us, that was in their house, there was a sign that they are vulnerable on the aerial balls, and I felt today they were very vulnerable. But we were lucky in terms of we had the ball nodded, the keeper caught some went wayward, but obviously Benjamin Šeško did that amazingly well. So the second half, I was happy with the fact that we continued to build on the momentum that we had in the first half. We tried to impose ourselves where we second half used the ball much better. If you notice, in the second half, the ball was more on the floor instead of the up and quick kind of football we wanted to do in the first half. And I feel that's what brought about, the goals. Two assists from Bruno Fernandes, one from the left-hand side that led to the penalty for Matheus Cunha, which I think was a very, very good, very good pass, really, from Bruno into that side. And also the cross to Benjamin Šeško that led to the goal. But I think I want to just give kudos to Bruno Fernandes, really, because I have been saying it right from onset that Bruno needs to retire at Man United. If I was the owner of Man United, Bruno Fernandes will retire at Man United. That's why I was so shocked at certain point in the season where there was certain noise about which I collected 100 million from Saudi for Bruno and everything. I think now it's quite evident that you don't just make long-lasting decisions on just maybe a few moments. I think a lot of people were very furious about the Europa League final, that they started making certain brash judgments. Bruno was a very important person or player for us in today's game in all the facets. Sometimes he even had to drop deep to try and help us in our progression of the ball, especially in the first half. Second half, it was very effective in both in the left and the right, tried to create situations for us. And I think that was really amazing. I think the players did well. Let me also praise Benjamin Šeško. You guys know I can't keep singing Benjamin Šeško's praise every single match, because I believe that we are coming to that level where we'll be singing his praise every game. I really believe that, because this guy has talent. This guy has the potential to be a very, very successful Man United player. At the end of his career, really very, very successful. And I think it was a very good choice to go for him. He offers us a lot. a lot in terms of how we want to play and, you know, our progression. And I think I'm happy that it started today. I'm happy that I started today, and I'm happy that he got his goal. Really, I think it's very, very good for us. So also, I think I want to praise everybody. The old boys, they did what they had to do. Yes, it was not a glistering performance, but I think we did what we had to do to get the 3 points. And I think that's kudos to them. So I think we have to continue to improve on what we are doing. Try to, you know, to get better in terms of on the ball activities. Try to get better also. What we are beginning to notice is our urgency, right? The urgency, the motivation to start the game on the front foot. We need to do that. I think if we do that, we'll get better. But I think this game, obviously, to me, especially in the second half, I felt that we were a lot more better. As even when the Crystal Palace went on a low block towards the end of the first half, and even in the second half, we had moments where we made them suffer in terms of how we stretch their defense in those certain moments. And I felt that the Crystal Palace majorly just played for that 20 minutes. In my opinion, they just played for that 20 minutes. And after that, a lot of misplaced passes from them. They could really put it together. And in those moments, we were very, very there. We were front foot and we did amazing. So guys, these are my opinions on the game against Crystal Palace, Man United 2, Crystal Palace 1. Fantastic game. I was really impressed with a lot of things that I've said. So guys, let me have your opinion on the game. What was your opinion on that game? What and what do you think we need to work on? What and what do you think we did well? Let's have that discussion in the comment section. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and most importantly, don't forget to share. Until I see you next time. Bye.